On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Two pretty big deals going on. Trump's announcement, not necessarily what you think, but pretty cool. Covers a lot of stuff. The presser, or the questions he took actually after, were pretty sweet. I think we've got one of those queued up as well. But I've got that presser going to be coming up. Also, bad day for Bolton. Bad day for Bolton. If you hadn't heard, we've got some major news. We're going to cover that as well. Plus, a lot of other nonsense that's happening in the world. Yeah, seriously, the amount of stuff that happens in 24 hours will blow your mind. I wanted to start with something that, frankly, I considered to be humorous. This guy's funny, very funny, in fact, and he's talking about what we as Americans should do or need to do, our younger generation specifically, but how we can help our country the most, how we can patriotically support this great nation.
Very, very passionate people, my MAGA friends, and I respect their passion. To some extent. I do. They're like, man, Ronnie, I love America. I would die for this country. But it's like, man, you're willing to die for your country. Why aren't you willing to learn math? Also for your country. Like do both for your country. Because I know you want to die for your country, but we're losing the engineering jobs to Asia right now. So we need less people to die for the country. You need more people to do their homework for the country. Like, do your homework for your country. Like, actually sit down and show the working and that's a more efficient way to show your patriotism. I'd rather die. I thought so. I thought that might be the case. Dying's easy. Math is hard. These quadratic equations make me suicidal. Very, very passionate people.
Many for you math nerds out there. Might be a few of you, hopefully. Authorities bust multi-million-dollar L.A. area cargo theft ring. They were stealing stuff from trains, and all sorts of crazy stuff was happening. UPS trucks, the whole 9 yards. They basically caught two major busts, about $4.5 million worth of stolen property, power tools, appliances, yada yada. They were selling this stuff all over. Apparently, they caught them, two of these major players. So this was a pretty big score for at least out here in California. Runaway Texas Democrats have been fined $9,000 for their quorum busting. They got to pay this out of their own pockets. They cannot pay it out of their campaign funds. Another little pain in their butts. Charges applied include $7,000 in fines. So I guess it was 14 days, $500 a day. $7,000 in fines, and $2,354.25 in costs incurred by the House as a result of their unauthorized absence from the House. So all them driving around looking for them and lifting up rocks and stuff like that. So yeah, they got punished pretty badly. We'll see how they get around this. I'm looking forward to the ultimate legal battles that they'll end up spending thousands more on. It's going to be fun. California Governor Loser Newsom signs legislation for a special November election to approve redrawn congressional maps to combat Texas redistricting. There you go. So he's hoping to get 5 more seats for the Democrats. I'm actually going to contend that I do not think this is going to go the way he wants it. So here's the way I see it. This is 10 more seats for people that actually care about the United States more than they care about the stupid little geopolitical nonsense that we've separated ourselves into over the years. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, but I think a lot of people are sick of how this state's being run and the high taxes and the fact that we don't have anything to show for it. Kash Patel posted this: no one is above the law at FBI agents on mission. What's that about? Well, what that about is John Bolton. They literally raided John Bolton's Maryland residence and also his office, to my understanding. We'll get there. But Maryland residence, they're looking for, they say, classified documents, locating potentially classified documents that authorities suspect Bolton may still have in his possession. The book Bolton wrote released classified information. That's one thing they've got him on guaranteed. 2, they might actually have some information to suggest that Bolton may very well have leaked some stuff on the news from his classified information that he might have. If those things are true, it's not going to go well, right? We remember what happened with President Trump. So he is going through the same pain. Nobody is above the law, Kash Patel said. Dan Bongino even posted or replied to that statement saying, I don't know, something to the effect of, truth is coming or something to that effect. Whatever the hell he said. I forget what it was. So, yeah, FBI posting through federal agents there right now, going through his home. I don't think we have anything solid. There's been a lot of people talking about, speculating about how long he could go to jail and all this. We'll get there. Don't try to get too far out in front of this. Today there was a raid at Bolton's house. Was it John Bolton, right? I always want to call him Michael Bolton, but that would be sort of more unfair to Michael Bolton than John. Here's John Solomon. He's talking about the redactions that were just removed from the Cash Bondi, James Comey. This is powerful. There was a story I was going to cover, but he actually nails it, and he kind of talks about the future movement of where we're going with this. I actually do have the investigation. I don't know if he talks about that, so we'll mention that really quickly. But outside of that, John Solomon does a brilliant job on Hannity breaking down his articles. So it's like, well, why try to read them and make it make sense to you guys when this guy does a really good job with his own work? I love it. Check it out.
Is this the smoking gun?
Well, it is. It's something pretty hot. I'll say that. Listen, you have now the former general counsel, the former chief lawyer to James Comey saying, I leaked classified information, he tells federal agents and prosecutors, and I did so at the instruction of James Comey's chief of staff, who told me James Comey authorized me to go do this. We now have a really significant evidence trail that James Comey may have had national security information leaked to the American public just before the election, putting his finger potentially on the scale of the election. And what's important about this is that knowing and willful leaks like this, if they have a negative effect on the national interest, the security of the country, they can be prosecuted up to 10 years, which makes this October 2016 leak that the FBI was able to, that the investigators and prosecutors able to confirm, still prosecutable until next October of 2026. Pam Bondi said, I just heard what she said on the show today, no one should be allowed to jeopardize national security. There will be accountability. Kash Patel saying that this was a stain on the FBI and one that now has to be fully transposed. When you look at the investigation, Sean, which, by the way, a lot of it occurred during Trump's first term in office, really weak work by prosecutors and people working on this. They had a chance to go get emails that would show what Comey and his people were talking about. They didn't go secure them. They didn't bring a lot of people before the grand jury. There is room for Pam Bondi and Kash Patel right now to open a criminal investigation, get new evidence, and help the American people see just how bad this might have been.
Is this part two? Because there was the issue of the Columbia professor. Was that classified material as well?
Sure. Yeah, listen, I want to credit Attorney General Bondi and Director Kash Patel because I made a request to have this information unredacted. It was redacted in the first production. We saw the stuff about Mr. Richmond. We saw the stuff about Adam Schiff. Right? We know that's the other person who was identified as likely authorizing illegal national security leaks. But this was originally redacted, and the Attorney General went to the mat for us to go get this information so we can see it. And when you see it now, you see its significance. Remember, James Comey was questioned astutely by Senator Chuck Grassley in the Judiciary Committee, May 3rd, 2017. Were you ever an anonymous source? No. Did you ever ask someone to be an anonymous source? No. Did you ever authorize a leak of classified information or declassify something so it could go to a reporter? Never. No. Those words are now going to potentially be looked at as a potential obstruction of Congress. If this statute of limitations and the possibility of a conspiracy case, James Comey faces a potentially very serious matter right now.
It's. I think the Attorney General's response to my question was very revealing. She is very aware of all of this.
Yeah. Things are breaking open. So this whole thing of how they were involved with the elections, how they were involved with stuff that affected people in the elections, how they actually made things legitimate that weren't. There is all sorts of conspiracy. Now, there was an investigation that was started during Trump's term, March 2017. And this whole thing's to open an investigation. They were codenaming it Tropic Vortex. Now, what's fun is somewhere in this document they show the few of the names of the operations that they're specifically looking into. I think they literally unredacted those to make sure the people that were involved know that we're looking into them specifically, because they'll start to panic. They'll start to make phone calls. They'll start to make arrangements. They'll start to do things. It will force their hands. So it will be very powerful to do that, to get that ball rolling. But the details that are referenced throughout this thing multiple times on or about 22nd March 2017, Department of Justice, DOJ Acting Deputy Attorney General Dana Boente directed U.S. Attorney's Office, District of Connecticut, Assistant U.S. Attorney John Durham to lead an investigation based on criminal referral from so-and-so regarding an unauthorized public disclosure of U.S. government classified information. In general, such investigations are conducted by the FBI's Counterintelligence Division with oversight from DOJ's National Security Division. However, at least one of the subjects of the investigation is a former senior FBI official who previously worked in NSD. To avoid a potential conflict of interest or an appearance thereof, the attorney, the ADAG, whatever that is, what is it? The acting deputy attorney general, assigned to investigate this Durham thing, right? So they're investigating it. They completed their investigation and provided a memorandum with their conclusions and recommendations to Attorney General Jeff Sessions. The memorandum is classified and will be submitted. This all happened in January 2019. The CD received a draft memorandum from the USAO District of Columbia regarding the aforementioned investigation. Upon finalization, the memorandum will be submitted, blah, blah, blah. USAO DC indicted the investigation, indicated the investigation may contain information relevant to other FBI investigations. This is where they call out some interesting stuff and unredacted it. Eco's Fate, Foggy Falls, Genetic Christmas, and Siren's Lure. So all of this they're digging into. I feel like I'm missing the thing. Anyway, they did an investigation. They were digging into it. They started at 2017. Long story short, I mean, we can skip through all the pages, but they're just like actual notifications of initiation of the investigation, proving the investigation actually did in fact start. It references all the same crap we just read. There's a bunch of initials for different kinds of this or this. Any matter which, in the judgment of the O's authorizing an investigation, should be brought to the attention of other officials. So that one's been checked, right? Like, an authorized purpose and adequate predicate exists for initiating the preliminary or full investigation. So it demonstrates that there was ample evidence up front to suggest that that there was, in fact, enough evidence to investigate that classified documents were moving back and forth. All right, just to skip to this because I'm friggin' spending way too much time on it. But we actually had... this was the proof of that. Let's get to the top of it. U.S. Department of Justice Federal Investigation closing letterhead memorandum Tropic Vortex, February 21st, 2020. Biden administration. Exactly. Right when he comes into office, they killed this investigation. Right? Isn't that when he came into office? January, so a month before. So right after he got into office. This was initiated January 31st. So there you go. There's been a lot of lies. Gabbard bars intel sharing on the Russia-Ukraine talks. Very funny. They are not letting this go to our foreign, no foreign is what they call it. And it's essentially our Five Eyes don't even get to see the information we've got. And the reason is leaks are happening. And Tulsi Gabbard's been talking about leaks. We're dealing with leaks in a large way. Leaks are being stopped. People are losing their security clearance. And they are now starting to shut Five Eyes out of specific things that we know are being utilized for nefarious reasons. This is a powerful piece of information that we got too. So lots happening, man. Lots happening. Obama appointee uses environmental loophole to try to shut down Alligator Alcatraz migrant facility. A whole bunch of nonsense. They're saying you can't bring any more people there. You need to shut the facility down. Any generators or anything that was ever added there, it's got to go within the next 60 days. Whole bunch of crazy stuff. It's obviously going to be appealed. How it is handled, I think all this stuff's going to Central Florida now instead of the Southern Florida. Do they even tell us what district judge? On Thursday, where is this judge? Where is she from, though? Obama appointed federal judge, Florida night. U.S. District Judge. I'm going to see if we can do a quick look up on her. Just find out if it says what district she's in. United States District Court, Southern District of Florida. So the Southern. This, interesting. So I'm curious how that plays out because all the jurisdiction was supposedly moved to Middle Florida or some other jurisdiction that's north of the Southern District. So I don't think she's even got jurisdiction to do this. I don't know. She's another district attorney, right? Yeah. So who knows? Maybe she feels she can stop this. Very interesting. Biden judge frees the team that was accused of the brutal assault on ex-Doge staffer. So they beat the hell out of this dude, almost killed him. And they've been released back to their parents. One of them ran away from home and never goes to school. And they've got a curfew now, 24-hour curfew, which means they can only go to school or home, I think. And anyways, this is insane. Just insane that this whole thing. It's D.C. for you. That's changing, though, folks. Trump criticizes court decision to block major Arizona copper mine land transfer. So now we've got another federal court judge that's blocking this. We need copper badly. Trump's kind of freaking out about this. He's trying to get away from other people that have been having control over us. And so, again, trying to get copper mines open here and get them open quickly. This is being sued. I guess the appeals court now in the Ninth Circuit issuing a temporary administrative injunction, which I get. You can't really open a mine and not affect the area. It is the Native Americans, the San Carlos Apache tribe, and other plaintiffs. So, again, we'll see how this one plays out. But ultimately, Trump has loosened a lot of the restrictions, and I don't know if this land is technically the tribe land or not. I don't know all the details. We'll see what will happen over the next coming weeks and months. Federal judge rules Alina Habba unlawfully serving as acting U.S. Attorney of New Jersey. They said, faced with the question of whether Ms. Habba is lawfully performing the functions and duties of her office of the United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey, I conclude that she is not, this Judge Matthew Brand wrote, because she is not currently qualified to exercise the functions and duties of the office in an acting capacity. She must be disqualified from participating in any ongoing cases. Brand asserted that Trump and Attorney General Pam Bondi used loopholes to install her as acting U.S. Attorney after term expired last month. So that's what's going on with her. Alina Habba is pretty pissed about it. First off, she says, I am the pick of the president, right? She was on Hannity talking about this. And she says, I am the pick of Pam Bondi, our Attorney General, and I will serve this country like I have for the last several years in that capacity. The federal judge who voted last month to boot Habba from the post when her 120 days were up were mostly appointed by President Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Brand was an Obama appointee. Habba accused identified judges of being activists who have gone rogue. It's disturbing what we're seeing here, she said. And Pam Bondi called it like it is. The Attorney General said it today. We will not fall to rogue judges. We will not fall to people trying to be political when they should just be doing their job, respecting the president. And you can't get rid of the president. So Habba, she was supposed to initially serve the 120 days after they kicked her out basically, and then put in an individual that they liked, which was this league race. We talked about this story back in the day. And immediately after that, Pam Bondi fired her and then we withdrew the approval for Alina Habba from the Senate and then put her in again as a temporary and just said, all right, now she's the acting. We got to put somebody in, and she's perfect. So, now she's not trying to be the job. And, again, she went after Grassley. And it's interesting, Grassley's getting some shit from people all over. And I'm starting to think that maybe Grassley is just not quite the sweet little lovable corn-growing guy that maybe we want to believe he is. Again, he's a senator. I don't know if any senators are worth a shit. But Alina Habba, she calls him out and says, number one, I was the nominee to become the U.S. Attorney, and Democratic New Jersey Senators Cory Booker and Andy Kim, who I have never to this day spoken to in my life, despite my attempts to meet them, have truly, truly done us a disservice. And frankly, same with Senator Grassley. By holding up a traditional blue slip, not a law, and not allowing a lot of president's picks to go through and be voted on by Senate. I didn't even get to that point. Then fast forward, it goes to judges. 17 federal judges in the state of New Jersey, 15 of which are Obama-Biden appointees, and that's just like, frankly, as we saw with New York Attorney General Letitia James, try to use their seat for political motivation. They're literally trying to guarantee that it's going to be a 17 of 17 judges. They'll never, ever do anything by the Constitution. So she's trying to change that. They are fighting her, and Grassley is allowing it. Frankly, this blue slip thing's not a law. It's a tradition, but there are times where sometimes you got to let your balls drop, Grassley, and experience what it's like to... Well, I don't want to say that because all people can be motivated to do something. You don't have to have testes to do that, but, just as being an insult to another dude. Yeah, he needs to pull his head out of his arse. Supreme Court allows Trump admin to revoke the DEI-related NIH grants. Just done. It was 5-4. Even John Roberts voted against this one, which I thought was shocking. But the NIH is going to cancel hundreds of millions of dollars in research grants linked to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The justices that were for it, Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and Chief Justice John Roberts voted to deny the government's request to rescind the funding. Very interesting that Roberts is on the wrong side of things, it seems. Very interesting. Anywho, we've got some more similar story, or another similar story at least. This Court of Appeals thing in the state of Georgia is pretty funny. So you know how the Board of Commissioners, they're not bringing on the two people that the courts have told them they have to, the law. They tried to file an appeal to the Supreme Court, basically trying to buy time. And the court basically told her, look, the Supreme Court's already sent it to us to handle, so no, request denied. They were trying to delay. They just had it shot down in a beautiful way, so, fantastic, right? Moving along. Chip Roy headlines Freedom Caucus departures that could transform House GOP. Many people are saying once these individuals get out of the way, Byron Donalds, I feel like, is a good dude. I don't know how his voting's been. But Andy Biggs, Ralph Norman, Barry Moore, Byron also, shouldn't leave him out, Andy Ogles, and Marsha Blackburn, they're all going to try to go off into different directions. And many people are saying these are some of the people that have almost been bigger problems than others. And they call themselves the Freedom Caucus, but usually whatever the name is oftentimes not what they're actually doing. They're not necessarily MAGA. And again, we've seen some strange stuff. I think there's other members of the Freedom Caucus that would be that other guy from Kentucky that I dislike. What's his name? Drawing a blank on his punk's name. All right, we're just going to skip it along. I want to remind you guys, of course, of Proud Patriots. Fun, cool stuff. The collectibles, gifts for all sorts of Proud Patriots, right? Here's the best sellers right now. Some of the cool stuff. They got the glass with the bullet in it. These are just cool things. And they're, I think, reasonably priced. I mean, the way things are priced today, it's, it is what it is. But America's 250th anniversary Peace dollar golden proof coin, that's pretty sweet. It's got to be plated. There's no way you're getting an ounce or a big old coin of gold for $29.99. But nonetheless, beautiful and very cool, just very colorful. The Trump bear is so freaking sweet. Trumpinator. They've got literal legal tender, Black Eagle. They've got, this crazy Second Amendment $2 bill. They've got $2 bills with so many people on there. Melania, Musk, Trump. It's all legal tender somehow. I don't know how that works, but they would literally get sued out of their ass if they were lying. But spending $29.99 to get a $2 bill, that's legal tender, and then using it as a $2 bill would be stupid. It's certainly, when you try to say, no, it's $30 $2 bill, they're not gonna buy into that. That's for sure. Cool bobblehead with the blood on the side of the face, kind of gory, but there's a lot of us that enjoy that kind of stuff. Keep fighting, man. Don't ever give up. They've got President Trump's executive order pen. That looks different. That's not the same one, but they're putting the they got that weird Sharpie that he uses when he signs the actual orders. But this is a cool pen, by the way. Got a few of those, couple different colors, right? Fun stuff, though. Just got all sorts of really fun stuff. They've got bestsellers, coins, currencies. They do have, again, there's a bunch of different ones. B-2 Stealth Bomber coin. They got just some fun stuff. Proud Patriots on the screen. It's the easiest way to get there is if you just go to the description box. There's the top link. The very top part in the description box is going to be the Proud Patriot link. At least I get credit that way. You're helping me out. I appreciate it. You don't have to. There's not really a way to, I think, do a code. Otherwise, if you want to pause it and type in the code that's at the bottom of the screen, capital letters do matter in web stuff, but you do that. That'll help. You're helping the channel. A lot of cool stuff. Hope you guys check it out. Proud Patriots, a lot of fun and doing, fun stuff. Trying to help us fight the fight. So very good guys. Fighting the fight. Love it. Proudpatriots.us too. Of course, that's a good thing too. US websites. Got to like those. Okie dokie. Timing of Letitia James's Zell suits backfiring as New York Attorney General faces her own legal woes. She's in big trouble for her lying on her mortgage documents because it got her favorable terms. It actually defrauded the banks. It defrauded all sorts of things, right? And there's also, I think there's extra paperwork she's got to fill out if she's got the extra addition that she didn't include. Whatever the case is, she was going after Zell for like $500 million against them, right? For going, what are the sensational fraud accusations against Zell? Now, this, I think, a lot of is not just her trying to take the attention off herself, although that's likely part of it. I don't think she's got that level of freedom to just go and do whatever she wants. What I do think this represents, though, is how broke New York is and how desperate they are to try to sue anybody that's got large sums of money, because they're a government. It's not like they can just go sue individuals and get anything. Like, they're like, yeah, what's $1 million going to do? That's not even going to pay our budget for catering for a day, like whatever. They probably got some crazy budgets, so they're falling on their face big time, and it's frankly fun to watch. We're going through our own version of it here in California. Here's Trump walking to a place in D.C. to eat. Unexpected stop at the People's House. It's a museum, I guess. Sorry, not a place to eat. Surprise. Museum, though. It's about a block from the White House. So Trump's just trying to demonstrate, literally, I can walk in the streets and I'm safe. Now, one's got to wonder, is that the actual Trump or, the double? Because, drones and stuff, right? So, again, a lot of questions. If that's actually the real Trump, then they're not even worried about drones at all. Why is that? Right? If not, one's got to assume that it's one of the doubles, in which case, they're like, you don't want to just kill somebody, but it's a very interesting thing. Trump's interview was awesome. This is the announcing he'll be surging the National Guard into Chicago next. I don't know if they cover that in this part of that we're going to play here. So we're going to go to this. This is the actual announcements. Now, I want to just real quick, I don't want to bust it. The announcement's it's not as big a deal as you're going to want, but they do talk about a lot of other stuff. And from the world standpoint, this announcement's enormous. So many of us as Americans are not going to appreciate how amazing this is. That's all I can say. So for any of you that roll your eyes when he makes the announcement, just understand you don't truly appreciate what Trump is actually doing here. For those of you that do, this is huge news. Huge news. Check it out.
Thank you very much. We have a very big announcement to make today. You all know Johnny. He came all the way from Italy, the beautiful country of Italy, to be with us. And he just got off the plane, and he's a hardworking guy, does a phenomenal job with FIFA. Nobody like him. I'm delighted to welcome FIFA President Gianni Infantino back to the White House for a major announcement about one of the most anticipated competitions in all of sports, the 2026, and this is a big deal, I'll tell you, I was so happy to get it, the 2026 FIFA World Cup. That's going to be the World Cup as we know it. It's the biggest, probably the biggest event in sports, I guess, Johnny, right?
Yeah.
On December 5th of this year, the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw will take place at the Kennedy Center. Some people refer to it as the Trump Kennedy Center, but we're not prepared to do that quite yet, maybe in a week or so. But right here in Washington, D.C., it's a tremendous honor to bring the global event and this incredible group of people and these unbelievable athletes, the best athletes in the world, to the cultural center of our nation's capital. I just left the Kennedy Center. We're spending a lot of money wisely on making it really beautiful. It's going to be beautiful again. It's like Washington, D.C. We had, by the way, in Washington, D.C., we have the lowest crime numbers they've had in years. Zero, it sounds like it's a horrible thing to say, but I might as well say it. Zero murders in the last week since we've done this. That's the first time in memory that that's happened, if you can believe it, how pathetic that is to have to even say it. And I'm tired of listening to these people say how safe it was before we got here. It was unsafe. It was horrible. And Mayor Bowser better get her act straight or she won't be mayor very long, because we'll take it over with the federal government, run it like it's supposed to be run. The numbers were horrible. It was a crime-infested rat hole. And they do have a lot of rats. We're getting rid of them too. And we've made a lot of progress. And it was extremely unsafe, and now it's extremely safe. We had virtually no crime. The number was down 87%, and I'm trying to figure out where was the 13%, because I don't think it existed. The National Guard has been unbelievable, and they're working with the police, and they have some very good people in there. They have some people that shouldn't be police, actually, but they have some great people there. And the Washington, D.C. is a whole different place, and Johnny, I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that too, actually.
Oh, yes.
But it's a whole different place. People are excited again. They're going out to restaurants again. That was the other thing I saw numbers. That restaurant business is down in the last week. No. Restaurant business, you can't get into a restaurant. Just really lying people. And that's why people don't understand how bad and how dishonest the press is. I saw one poll that had us at 19% favorable on what we're doing with Washington. Then I saw another one that has us 94% favorable. And I can tell you the 94% is correct. The others are fake, just fake news. They got to get their act together. So bad for our country, so sick, actually. So Washington, D.C. is really doing unbelievably well. And the Kennedy Center that we're fixing, I was just there all morning with contractors. We're making it unbelievable. It's going to be unbelievable. It's got great bones, but it needs a lot of work. The World Cup draw will set up the group stage of competition. 48 teams will play in 104 games across 16 North American cities, from Seattle to Vancouver to Atlanta to Miami. It's going to be so exciting for our country. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be one of the largest and most complex events. This will be one of the greatest events, one of the largest. In a way, it's like Johnny said it better. It's like having many Super Bowls in a short period of time. Because each one of these games essentially is a Super Bowl. Some of them are bigger than Super Bowls, actually. But they're essentially, each one of these games is like a Super Bowl. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be the largest, most complex set of events in sports history. And the Kennedy Center will give it a phenomenal kickoff, and we'll be involved, and they'll be working over there for quite a bit of time. We have it all set that they can stay there for the big events, the big press conferences and everything else. And they'll be in a very safe capital. That'll be nice. You don't have to worry about walking down the street, Johnny, okay?
Thank you.
But you could handle yourself.
I could.
Already FIFA is projecting 6 million loyal fans will attend the World Cup events next year, and 6 billion more are going to be watching back home, and they think the $6 billion number is going to be actually a low number. And this will drive more than $30 billion into the U.S. economy and create 185,000 American jobs in a short period of time, too. No sporting event attracts more attention, more fans, more viewers, or more revenue than the FIFA World Cup. And again, I'll just say it's the World Cup, and it's the biggest thing there is in sports, and we have it. And I got it in my first administration, and I was really somewhat devastated, as devastated as I can be. I don't have time to get too devastated. I was very happy that today, as you saw, the group that does this, a government group, radical left group, announced that Trump was right. Took in $4 trillion worth of tariffs. That the $4 trillion are going to reduce the deficit by numbers far greater than they ever expected or heard of. And by the way, the stock market went up 1,000 points. That was as of 10 minutes ago. I can't tell you what happened. A lot of things happened. But the stock market's up almost 1,000 points. And it's basically on the news that the release that just came out from government that the tariffs that everybody was talking about, that the whole world respects us for because of what we did. The tariffs are going to be at $4 trillion. They're going to reduce the deficit by $4 trillion, Mr. Vice President. What
Pretty
do you
good,
think?
sir.
Too bad it's not 5, right?
That's right.
It's had a huge impact, and the stock market is way up. But this will drive more than $30 billion in U.S. economy and create 185,000 American jobs. No sporting event attracts more attention or more fans or anything else. And I just look forward to the draw. So we're going to have the draw, essentially, Johnny, at the Kennedy Center.
Yep.
And by that time, it'll be in even better shape. We're working on it. It's about a year project to make it It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. You see the way this is looking? Look, nice. I can't tell you how much that gold costs. A lot of money. There's nothing like gold, and there's nothing like solid gold. But this beautiful office needed it. It had to be representative. When we took it over, it was dirty, not clean. I immediately changed the chair and had this beautiful desk renovated, brought out by the White House. People that do this, they did a great job. We sent it out. We have a craftsman who's great. But this was not appropriate for the Oval Office when I took over. And now, if you look at all those paintings you're allowed to turn back. All of these are great presidents, and they were all in the vaults. They were in vaults for some cases much more than 100 years. And now they're proudly hanging on the Oval Office walls. And I can't imagine anybody changing it. But they were buried in vaults for over 100 years, many of them. So it's very exciting. People come in, they really love it. They love what we're doing here. They love what we're doing in D.C., and they love what we're doing, most importantly, in the country and the world. I'd like to ask Johnny to say a few words. He's the head of the whole thing. He's been there for a long time, probably the most respected man in sports. He's amazing, actually. Works very hard, and he's got the biggest event in the world coming right here to the United States. And we did a little for Canada, we did a little for Mexico. We thought, see, I'm a good citizen. I said, let them have a little piece. So we gave a little to Canada, see how nice I am? And we gave a little bit to Mexico. And Johnny, please say a few words.
Thank you, President. Great honor for me to be here with you today, President, Vice President, Excellencies. Fantastic to announce what you said, which is the final draw of the FIFA World Cup on the 5th of December here in the capital, in the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. at 12 noon sharp. It will be broadcast live all over the world. 1 billion viewers will watch it, and it will determine, of course, the match schedule, which 48 participating teams will play. You said it, 104 matches in 1 month, 104 Super Bowls. This is not just the biggest, the greatest event, not just a sports event, it's a social event as well, with a lot of emotion. We are uniting the world, Mr. President, uniting the world here in America, and we are very proud of that. And those teams, those national teams who will come here to participate in this draw with their coaches, with their presidents, they will all be proud to be part of writing this history. And that's why we brought as well this, which is the winner's trophy. It is the trophy that the winner of the FIFA World Cup wins. Only the FIFA president, presidents of countries, and then those who win can touch it, because this is for winners only. And since you are a winner, of course, you can as well touch it. It's pretty heavy. Yeah. It's the winner trophy. The last one who lifted that is Lionel Messi of Argentina. And here it is in the Oval Office in the White House.
Can I keep it?
For you. Well, you can.
We're not giving it back. We're not giving it back. That's serious.
It fits well.
It goes very well on the wall right over there. We'll put it right below the angels.
It fits well here,
That's
I think.
Beautiful, yeah.
You can keep it until we have to give it to the next winner.
That's fine. That's a beautiful piece of gold, I will say. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So 6 billion viewers for the World Cup, 6 million coming to the matches, 30 billion economic impact, 185,000 jobs. This will be absolutely fantastic. The biggest event ever, and everything will start here in Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center, or the Trump Kennedy Center. We'll see that, how it will be called, on the 5th of September at noon sharp. 5th of December, noon sharp. Then, if I may...
Will they be doing most of the draws, all of the draws at the Kennedy? Well, how are you going to do that?
Yes, we'll do that at the Kennedy Center. We'll do all the other meetings around it with the coaches, with the broadcasters, with the sponsors, everything at the Kennedy Center. The whole World Cup starts, and everyone will be happy because everyone has qualified for the World Cup, and they didn't yet play a game, so they didn't lose yet the game. So they all think they can become world champion, right?
They'll all be happy.
Exactly. Now,
by the way, an example, supposing we had a week ago when everybody was being killed and mugged and everything else, despite the phony numbers that were given out that it was getting better. Brian, do you believe it was getting better or getting worse?
Oh, the crime was getting worse. I mean, I was robbed. It was getting
They
way
went
worse.
after you.
Yeah.
How did the other guy come out?
Well, he came out with my briefcase,
That
unfortunately.
was-
Yeah. Robert 1, Brian 0.
Now, but can you imagine you do this and then you start hearing that they had a 20-year reduction of crime. It's worse. It was worse during the Biden administration than anybody's ever imagined possible. And I guarantee you he wouldn't be here if those numbers continued. But now we have total safety. We have total security. And for the border, in 3 months, 0 people. These are done by liberal people that do these charts. 0 people came through our border in the last 90 days. Can you believe it? 0. Last year we had millions of people coming in. And they came in from the wrong locations. They came in a lot of people that shouldn't be here. So now when we have this event in December, it's going to be very safe. Johnny, you can walk down the street with your beautiful wife.
Yeah.
You can take her to dinner if you can get a reservation, which I doubt.
And they are all full, the restaurants.
I know. They're all full. I heard that too. The restaurants the restaurants, since we are doing this, are doing great. And many new restaurants are going to open because, as you know, many closed. Many restaurants closed because the crime was so bad. This will be one of the safest places anywhere on earth. So, you know, I really am honored that the National Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police. And we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do. We have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, and we're going to help with. And I think a lot of these people that you see on television, they are, including the people in this audience, they'll say bad things about me, and then they'll say, "Thank God he's here," because half of them got mugged, and they don't want to get mugged again. But they work for they work for stupid people that are radical left. And they're made to do things and say things that they don't want to be saying. But the people right here are all happy because you're not going to be mugged in Washington, D.C. anymore. I just want to say Johnny's been my friend for a long time. He's an incredible guy, and we will lay out the red carpet. Andrew, you're going to be fantastic. Rick is going to be everything Rick ever touched has always worked out, and he's working with me on the Kennedy Center. And his very good friend was an actor on Broadway for 5 years, right? And I assume he's helping us a little bit, right?
Yes.
And Andrew, you're all excited about it?
Absolutely.
Would you like to say something?
This is a great opportunity, Mr. President, to show off the first 250 years of the United States of America, the greatness, and then the hope and promise of the next 250 years. When you think this World Cup is going to be over our 250th birthday, Mr. President, your leadership, obviously, with FIFA leading the way, this is the largest sporting event in the history of the world under the Trump administration. So very excited.
I just want to say one thing. Andrew Giuliani, so his father is Rudy, the greatest mayor in the history of New York, I think by far. He took a ravaged city, a city that was really under siege. Probably most people thought it was going to survive. He turned it around. He was a great, great mayor. And then they treated him very, very unfairly. You go back and tell your father all of the things that have come out over the last couple of months through Tulsi and through all of the people, Cash, everybody. They've proven your father 100% correct. His father was treated so unfairly. Your father has been 100% correct. And tell him we all love him, okay?
Thank you, Mr. President.
It's been amazing. What he had to go through was very, very unfair. Nasty. These are bad people. Mr. Vice President, would you like to say something?
Well, sure, Mr. President, thank you, and thanks to Johnny for being here. We're very thrilled about the World Cup. Just to echo something the President said about crime in Washington, D.C., this is the national capital of the greatest nation in the world, and we had murder rates just a few weeks ago that rivaled some of the worst third world cities anywhere, even in very, very poor regions of the world. Why did we accept that? Why did we allow it to happen? We allowed it to happen because we had broken leadership in Washington, D.C., and unfortunately sitting behind the Resolute desk. What we have shown in just under 2 weeks of taking law enforcement seriously is that the American people can have their streets back if their leadership is willing to put in the time and the resources. Mr. President, you've shown in Washington, D.C. that we can have safe streets again. We've just got to have the political willpower to focus on the bad guys and to give the American people back their communities. We are focused on doing that thanks to the President's leadership.
Thank you. And that's a really very small percentage. It's 2%, 3%, but that 2% and 3% wreaks just havoc throughout a community. People are petrified, and I notice a couple of the women in the back are shaking their head, yes, yes, yes. I won't report who you are because you'll end up losing your jobs, but it's true. It's amazing. And the police, and you look at the D.C. National Guard, I saw pictures of them last night getting off vans and all, and I saw some bad ones running, but they're not running so much anymore. They're not there. They're just not even trying. You're totally safe. Now there'll be something happening sometime. I don't know. Maybe it won't be for a long time. But this was every night would get reports of people being mugged and killed. There's one woman on television last night. She had a badly busted up nose, and she said, "Well, I like our streets the way they used to be," and she thinks it's going to happen like by doing nothing. And they say, "What happened to your nose?" She got slugged by a guy walking down the street. Slugged. Her nose will never be the same, I guarantee you, unless it takes a pretty good turn. She wasn't really for us, but she sort of said, "Well, maybe something has to happen before this happened to me." She got whacked, and I don't think she'll ever be the same. She was a half a Trump fan, a woman that would have never been a Trump fan, but she was hit hard. It's not going to happen anymore. Not going to happen anymore. But then we're going to beautify the city too. That's where I was today at Kennedy Center. And we're going to beautify the city like it hasn't. And we're working with Clark Construction, the biggest construction company in Chicago, and in Washington. And the head of Clark is great. He's all over the world, actually. But Washington, I would say, is their home. That's where they do the best work, the biggest work. And they've been doing a fantastic job. So you're going to have a fantastic, clean, beautiful place. It's going to be better than it ever was before. Literally better than it ever was before. We'll get it done very quickly. And I want to thank Clark because they're doing a lot of work in a lot of different locations, but they've been fantastic for getting us the right contractors and the people that can really do the job right. And Johnny, did you want to say something?
Yes, I have one more thing, because as you rightly say, with security and beautifying cities and the whole country, we want people to come and enjoy and have fun. And that's why this is not just the most iconic trophy in the world of sport, but we start on the 10th of September the sale of tickets for the FIFA World Cup, and we have the first ticket here for the final.
Good. Wow.
For you.
Oh, good. That's cool. Wow.
It's of course row 1, seed 1. It's ticket number 4547, and it's for the final in New York, New Jersey. And so you have your ticket already for the final. All the others, 10th of September, start getting your tickets.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
6.5, 7 million tickets. Fans will enjoy the security here. Will be fantastic.
You're going to do record business, I think.
100%.
Christy, would you like to say something?
Yeah, Mr. President, millions of people will come to this country, and we'll make sure they get their travel documents, their visas, that they want to come here and spend their money and enjoy this sporting event. It'll be the largest event in the world. And sir, you're reminding me of something that my dad used to say all the time when I was growing up. He would say, "Christy, you kids need to look like you respect yourself before anybody's going to respect you." And in this country, when people look at our streets, when they look at our Capitol, you're bringing respect. back to this city. And people will respect our country more because it's safe, it's clean, it's beautiful. And what you're doing is transforming this nation by making sure that our laws are upheld. And millions of people are going to come and be able to enjoy it next year. And I'm excited about that. Thank you for doing that.
Well, our country is respected again. And a year ago, we had a dead country. I'm telling you, it was a dead country. It was a country that had lost its way. It was a country that was going to fail. Look, even today, where they say $4 trillion in reductions of deficits, and this was totally unexpected. They didn't expect it. I mean, I don't know where they've been, the people that do this stuff, but it's terrible. I want to thank Christy for another reason. I said to her 2 weeks ago, I said, Christy, do me a favor. I built hundreds of miles of wall. I built the same wall that the Border Patrol asked me to build. It wasn't my first choice. I wanted to do concrete plank and everything nice, but you wouldn't have been able to see through it. So I had Border Patrol in, and they tested everything else. And we gave them steel wall, high-grade steel, very hard to cut. Then we gave inside that is 9,000-pound concrete, which is a very tough concrete. Inside that is rebar, a big, fat piece of rebar. So you have all different materials that are very hard to cut, and you need different instruments to cut each one. And I said, Kristen, we got to get a coat of paint on it. And I didn't know she was listening. But I said, we got to get a coat of paint, and it should be black, because black makes the steel very hot. It's untouchable. You could fry an egg on it. And if you got a good black, flat paint, it would look beautiful. It will preserve it from rust. And that was it. And I gave it to her along with 30 other things, and she's done such a good job on the border with Tom Holman and the group. Tom Holman's a fantastic guy, what the job he does, and the way they work together. So I turned on last night and I see Christie's painting the wall. And it looked beautiful, by the way, when that paint went over there.
And it's hot.
It's hot.
Yes, it is.
It's hot. If it's white, it's not hot. If it's black, it's going to be very hard to climb that sucker. It's not going to be easy. But it's black and a high quality black. You know, it really looked good.
Yeah, we got
Is
the
that
paint
going to be
you
a
told us
two-coat
to.
job or a one coat?
No, just one coat.
One coat.
We used the paint you told me to buy.
Yep. The two-coat will take place in 3 years from now. We'll do the second coat. But it looks beautiful. But thank you very much. I didn't know you were listening to that, because we talked about 7 different subjects, and all of a sudden I see you're out there painting with a lot of painters and everything else. But it was a beautiful thing to say.
Yep.
Would you like to say something? You've been such a big part of this. Please.
Well, just, Mr. President, we're delighted to be here today for this announcement, but we're also looking forward to having you at the final.
Oh, yes.
On July
Oh, yes.
19th
No, we'll be
in New
there.
York, New Jersey.
We're going to be there. A lot of people are going to be there.
A lot of people.
I'd like to thank you all. Do you have any questions on FIFA, first of all?
Just to, again, reiterate the power of this. There are a couple things that jumped out at me that I didn't really catch the first time. Well, I did, but anyway. Right below the Angels, where he wanted to put the trophy. This trophy is like the most symbolic thing. Football, as it's called in most of the world, well, the entire world, minus here. The only place that calls it soccer is here, I think. Canada, but whatever. North America, probably. This is a big, big offer up to a large portion of the entire world. We want to have, well, there's some people that are probably pissed about it, but I think they want to try to give it the respect it deserves. They want to make it the big deal it is. They know we got the technology to be able to broadcast and stream it all over. I mean, this is an opportunity to do it right, because no other country is quite like us in that regard. So Trump doing this and then getting to actually do it properly, and then again the hen statue and holding it, all the symbolism was very, very powerful. And right below the angels is what he said he would do. He just came up with that. And angels are typically a very symbolic thing, certainly in the Hispanic culture, which is a big part of soccer, but any of the like Christian, Judean culture, the concept of angels is pretty emblematic. And I believe there are other religions that have concepts that are much similar. So again, the power of putting this thing of significance just under the angels, not above. Just saying it on the call was pretty sweet. And then Safe Streets. This is an opportunity to round up a lot of illegals. I'm curious to see how this plays out legally and all that. But if we're able to go into cities like Chicago, like he's saying, and actually stop crime. Because if we go in there with the point of stopping crime, a lot of people are going to come out and protest. And a lot of the people protesting are not going to be legal or criminal or have records or have a weapon or And this is going to round up a lot of people. And what they're not used to is this no bail nonsense is going to stop. He'll take over that somehow from an executive order, and I'll give him 30 days to do it. He gets 30-day window. He's still got that window right now with D.C. That's why they can't fight it. He can't keep it going after that, or he'd have to re-extend it, but he shouldn't have to. So again, this is just cool as heck, I think. Friggin' loving it. Where does it go? Over here. No, those are my songs. Oh no, you know the secrets. Where is it? There it is. What happened? So yeah, again, just a lot. We'll go. I got to try to kick it up a little bit. But bike riding youths have been terrorizing Dem-run cities. Again, a very interesting problem that's happening. But there's people on these bikes, these e-bikes. Those things are pretty damn fast. And if you're on traffic that's pretty damn slow, well, this could happen. Now, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's freaking people out. Certainly not legal. I don't know how a cop pulls over somebody. They'll just probably keep going, or does a cop throw a net on them? Does he shoot like a spike through their spokes? Right? Like, what do you do? How do you do this? What do you helicopter fly over it? I mean, you bump into them because you can't do that. I don't even know what they do with motorcyclists when they can actually catch them. I would assume they usually crash if it's either A, they get away, or B, they crash. I would assume with motorcycles because they're just too fast. Well, at least the fast ones. Whatever the case is, if we had actual law and order, it'd be amazing. Marco Rubio did a couple cool things. Oops, I hope I didn't just blow one out. Yeah, no. Trump hit the International Criminal Court with a second round of sanctions. Senator of State, of course, Marco Rubio, called the Hague-based court a national security threat, literally, and accused it of being used for lawfare against the U.S. and Israel. At a moment, a warrant for the arrest of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is still active. Now, again, there is from the Trump administration, a lot of prized talk about this individual. I've never wanted to like him, and I'm never probably gonna like him, maybe, but it's the one thing that makes it hard for me to totally just toss him to the weeds. So what is happening? And maybe he knows there's a lot of crap around him because obviously the court has been against him, and obviously he's got I forget what part of Parliament I think is totally against him. So he's fighting within an internal battle as well. So maybe he's the one that's got the cojones to actually do what needs to be done, and maybe that's more Israeli style, which is a little harsher than a lot of us are used to. So again, I keep my mind open. I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that are very, he's wrong, and it's like, that's almost anti-Semitic, right? And there's nothing wrong with the race of people, and that's the thing. It's the leadership. So I always call it deep stakes. It's easier, but I mean, I guess maybe your Khazarian mafia, your Khazarian Jews, your what are the other word I can't remember right now? Type of Jew? Like I don't know. I don't know. There's bad people everywhere. Is all I know. For every group of people, there's some bad apples. Just are. So let's not hate the whole group because there's like 5 of them that suck. Let's pull them 5 out of the line and then look at the group and be like, now what do you think? And then be like, actually, that's a pretty good class picture. I like this. Well, so let's think that way sometimes rather than painting with such a broad brush. Rubio halts truck drivers' visas after illegal kills 3. So you're no longer allowed to come into this country from other countries with a commercial driver's license that you must retest, essentially, once you get here, if you can actually get here first. Second off, truck driving there. The increasing number of foreign driver operating large tractor-trailer trucks on U.S. roads is endangering American lives and undercutting the livelihoods of American truckers, he wrote on X. Am I lucky enough? Is this Fox or what is this? Screw that. Yeah, so whatever. He's trying to stop it. It's immediate too. It's already gone into effect. So again, Rubio's doing some good stuff. Trump initiates deportations for 86,000 illegal aliens left in limbo. This whole NTA's notice to appear. There's a bunch of these people that are kind of just floating around in limbo. So something's going to happen in regard to those. They're talking about all these crazy numbers. They don't really talk about how they're going to take care of it. Essentially, Biden didn't do anything. Once the NTA happened and nobody showed up, they didn't care and they didn't go after him. So we've got all these people that are just in this, like they already had a notice to appear and they failed. So if somehow they're going to be able to find them, I don't know how. They're probably not going to tell us. And they're talking about 86,000 people just through this. So this is happening. Biden administration packed swing states with over 1 million illegal aliens, like probably each, I assume. But they moved a whole bunch of people specifically into states to try to mess with the election. Specifically. Now, again, this isn't going to work. Again, everything's being done to make sure, first off, from a federal level, but I think there's a lot of state level stuff too that is going more to like, hey, paper ballots, like this is just for now. Let's work out all the craziness. We don't care what contract you have. All right, pay them. We're not going to use their equipment. We're going to use paper ballots. Done. Can we use a scanner to scan them? No. You don't need to scan them. It's a paper ballot. You count them in the actual area that, what do they call it? The precinct, right? You count them there. You know the number. Precincts close at a specific time. And oh my God, we know who the president is at 8 p.m. Hawaii time. I think it was the last market, right? Like a lot of times they would wait to call the final just to be fair to Hawaii because, dude, they've got that senator, that lady man. I mean, I'm just saying, it's probably illegal to say what I just said, which I should be careful. I might be going there here in the not too distant future for a work thing, believe it or not. ICE director vows to flood Boston with immigration agents after Mayor Michelle Wu, anyway, she refused to end the city's sanctuary laws. She's like, I'm not going to do this. She had a whole bunch of other crazy stuff. I saw the story, and it was just like, but you're so pretty. Why do you have to talk like that? It hurts me. It just does. Needless to say, he's going to flood them with ICE agents. I hope you like ice with your hot tea, my dear, because that will be happening. You know what's good for your health is the things that fight the fact that we're aging. I don't know about you, but I get old daily. Yeah, it happens really minute by minute. It seems my body, there's ways to help that, though. There's ways to help that. Healthy Home is totally one of those, or Heal Thy Home. It is one of the ways to help you stay younger. Let me explain how. First off, go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Go danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. .healthyhome.com. But yes, Stem Active and Stem Active Gel. It's just two different ways. Liquid, pills. 2 pills, 1 thing of liquid. Which way you like it, I think the same price. Life is good. 30 of them. This is stem cells. This helps enhance your stem cells internally. It's not putting stem cells into you because those would probably come from a fetal cells. That's where most stem cells come from. That's actually a very awesome way to heal yourself. But it's a gross way. I mean, from a moral standpoint, it's disgusting. But from a medical standpoint, it's been very successful. What's also successful is utilizing your own body to take care of this. By taking Stem Active, it actually enhances your stem cell count in your own body by yourself. You did it to you. 25 to 40%. I mean, it is almost lickety split. I mean, from a biological standpoint, minutes. It is minutes. And your body's already starting to do more. You keep this flowing through your system, your body's going to keep flowing stem cells. Stem cells are cells that can become healing cells, essentially. They can become other cells. The only cell that can do that. Like a lung cell, once it's a lung cell, it can't ever be like, I'm curious what it's like to be a muscle cell. I just, I want to spend the last part of my life as a muscle cell. They don't get that choice. Stem cells do. They're like, I don't know, today I'm so free. Right? And they're flying around, and they're like, I'm going to be a muscle cell. And they become one. And they're trapped. But they're a muscle cell forever. And forever they shall be. So stem cells help healing. They help you feel better, be better. Joints, inflation, or inflammation, right? Those types of things are all sorts of crazy when it comes to healing and the body. And so make sure you've got more of that healing action going on. Balance is for the ladies going through that change. People are telling me how incredible this is. It's a transdermal lotion, right? You rub it on your wrist, you rub your wrists together. This helps with the mood swings, the temperature swings, I can't sleep at night, my relationship sucks right now. This helps amazingly. It's done plant-based. It's not putting any synthetics in your body. And it's making a lot of women's lives much more better, manageable. I don't know. Choose your word. Balance is, yeah, exactly that. Bring in the balance. I don't know why I highlighted ants, but it's got some of that going on too. Amaze is awesome for the collagen. I actually drank one yesterday, and I'm looking forward to doing another one. I'm going to be on it now. It's just time. It's just time. So why should I? Like my hair. So I think this helps a lot. You're having issues with sagging skin, sore muscles, hair, joint, fingernails. Collagen's the thing, man. It's the most important protein in your body. You definitely want a bunch of it. Peptides is the best way to bring it into the body. This is collagen peptides. It's amazing. That's why they call it Amaze. It'll amaze you, for sure, and it helps. Keep in mind, there's 15 packs per box. So if you want to just try it. You'll be amazed. And if you want to like make it a full month, you're going to need 2 of those boxes. Most of these things are planned out for a month. But stem cell for pets they've got as well. It's like half the price of adults, but it does the exact same thing in the pets. You don't need to hear me talk about all that, but your pet's been surgery or got issues, arthritis, like all those things. Prime is another one, just energy. It's amazing. You should try it. You've got to try it. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. And there you go. U.S. Space Command is preparing for satellite v satellite combat, like a little bit of that action going on. We've got a lot happening. There was a French thing that happened with us, I believe it was, and we brought 2 satellites into reasonable proximity, and then they came into reasonable proximity of an enemy satellite, which was likely a Soviet or Russian satellite, depending on when it was launched. And it was a means of assessing whether or not the satellite had any defense mechanisms. The French, I guess, have been messed with a few times by the Russians, and so are a little bitter, which, no offense, French people, but you guys always seem a little bitter no matter what. Even when you're happy, you frickin' feel a little bitter. That said, Space Command's, they're largely focused on actually fighting stuff now. They've been like, we've just been trying to get people and stuff and all that, but now we're ready to go. Boom, we're on it. Well, we've also, that was a poor choice. SpaceX launches the U.S. military mini shuttle. It's that little X-37 thingy, little aircraft. It's got the engine slightly off-center. It's kind of cool how that works. All said, this thing's going up there. There's speculation about why it launched on a SpaceX plane, because nobody else is reliable and we couldn't launch some top secret stuff. So again, Musk and the United States are still in happy places, and he got paid very well for this. SpaceX is doing quite well and reliable as hell, right? Musk does a good job there. I'm glad he's back to work. That's probably helpful. That said, we'll see what they're doing up there with their satellite warfare, right? Ukraine stripped of U.S. aid billions. This is one of the big places where a lot of the laundering was happening. A lot of that U.S. aid money was going, and this is part of the problem in the big picture. The NGOs and all that stuff. A lot of politicians from all over the world were making money off this stuff. We're making money off this war. It's all dried up. A lot of it with the U.S. aid being killed, and a big part of why Europe is even at the point of accepting, all right, I guess we can just let them have the land they won. Because the money dried up. There's no point for the war anymore. They don't care, and it's politically not worth it. I'm telling you, man, things are crazy. Trump's going to fire Cook. That's that chick from the Fed, right? The Federal Housing Finance Agency Director Pulte wrote this and basically said, look, the Federal Reserve Governor, Lisa Cook, falsified bank records, that's felony offense, that's bad. It's obvious. We've got the proof right here. Bump, bump, and Trump's already even admitted, I'll fire her. So we can put somebody else in. She's probably very left-leaning. And I also think this is serving as an example to other members on the board. Some might use that against us. Some of us should just accept the fact that we're literally in charge of the Fed. And how this plays out, how we shut them down, I mean, ultimately, I'm sure Trump and Bessett have a plan to try to shut these mofos down. And it's just an issue of playing it out publicly and legally. And so we'll see. But, she seems to be gone. We've got proof of it here. I don't want to dig into it. But she even tried to rent one of her primary residences. I think it was before she listed it as such. No, it couldn't have been because she already owned it. So she was trying to rent it. And then somehow, Again, she did primary residence, 2 locations. She got the signatures. We got it all in there. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. That's, I mean, it's craziness. From a money standpoint, some fun stuff going on. Canada's going to drop many of its retaliatory tariffs in the U.S. This is huge. By the way, the stock market's having a lovely day. Trump talked about it in his story. But we've got some stories. The NVIDIA story kind of was weird because that kind of killed NVIDIA a little bit. But yeah, we've got some Powell news as well that people are trying to talk about and maybe implying he's meaning something, which he says it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. He's got a tough place. This is what he does say, for sure. NVIDIA halts China-specific H20 AI chip. It's funny, I was just talking about this yesterday. I'm like, oh, other companies are going to start buying it. I think the price of it dropped, maybe, or something, because they're stopping the production of it. Now, reading the article, long story short, a lot of bullshit thrown in that doesn't seem to matter. There seems to be, so there's a couple suppliers that bring together parts. Like, I don't know, let's just make it 3, because I think it's basically what it was, like 3 different companies, right? One of these companies has a giant surplus of this old product, this old, let's call it chip, or chip part, like chip goo, baby chip. And so that's not needed. And there's too much. So they're literally stopping it because they're not selling enough of these things. And that is, that's what's the problem in a nutshell. Sorry, I knocked my earphone thing out of the board. A little distracting. U.S. adds steel, copper, and lithium to high priority list under Uyghur forced labor laws. Uyghurs are slaves. For anybody out there, it's like, slavery's so horrible. We were so horrible 100 years or 200 years ago or whatever the hell, 150 years ago. You know what? Uyghurs still today they're slaves. Slaves. Literally don't get paid. They barely get fed. They get beaten if they don't do what they're supposed to. They're slaves in every single sense of the word. Not like us. We're slaves economically. They're straight up slaves. So any company that China has that does steel, copper, lithium, we're no longer allowed to take their goods. This is going to, again, continue this fight against China. China and our war is a financial war, and Trump is negotiating the landmine fields, or navigating the landmine fields well. Very well, in fact. Exceptionally well. He'd probably say some more giant word than exceptionally. But yes, Trump is doing just an incredible job. And so, again, different fronts, different wars, different things. Can't really talk about it. They're trying to do negotiations. Or right now they're not. Right now they're just taking in the money. Bessent told us that a couple days ago. Beijing's olive branch. Boeing in talks on the 500 jet mega deal. First off, Boeing can't even get us the stupid Air Force One jets. What's there, 2 of them, 3 of them? Right? They can't even get us the jets. We've been waiting 10 years on those, Boeing. So what? When are you going to make these 500 jets? When are you going to get around to that? You can't seem to make... Boeing, you're bumming me out. Keep seeing stuff that's not groovy. Got another story that's going to come up that shows actually how Boeing parts are made all over the place. And just wanted to point out one small thing that I thought was funny. And then we can even talk about the engines, because there seems to be a lot of discussion around that as well. So yes, apparently China's talking about buying 500 planes. Do you believe them? No. How many of them do you think they're actually going to strip and try to re-engineer so they can steal technology from Boeing? Yeah, that'd be ridiculous. Boeing would have to hide so much, like anything of any sort of significance. It would be so tough to do. I think it's just a bunch of talk. China meeting its massive oil demand with illicit shipments from Russia, Iran, and Venezuela. What that means in a nutshell, in my opinion, is when every politician says you need to force Russia to do anything, you're not sanctioning them hard enough, they don't care. Russia's selling oil to all sorts of people, and the people they're selling it to are basically saying, United States, we don't buy any of your crap anyway. We don't care. You don't want to take our stuff, or if you do, it's just going to cost more. All right, fine. We don't care. Whatever. So this is the whole idea that we can somehow force Russia, which is such a deep state, such a service to self, such a typical thing of a lot of people. It reminds me of growing up. Just there's so many people, and I tend to see them more on the Democrat side, that want to force behavior. You must act the way I want you to. I even get it with people that get pissed at me. Dan, if only you'd do this differently. And it's just like, what? But if only you'd be different. We're all in the same place. This bonds thing, so there's a lot in there. He's talking about how there's slowdown. It was just months ago. This is Powell talking. As the earlier figures for May and June were revised substantially down. He's talking about the labor market. So job growth is down, which means businesses are not growing at the moment. It says labor supply has softened in line with demand. So there's less demand for jobs and less labor seems to be looking for it, sharply lowering the break-even rate of job creation needed to hold the unemployment rate constant. Indeed, labor force growth has slowed considerably this year with a sharp fall-off in the immigration, and the labor force participation rate has edged down in recent months. This unusual situation suggests that downside risks to employment are rising. And if those risks materialize, they can do so quickly and in the form of sharp, higher layoffs and rising unemployment. So the whole employment thing, they're hoping to dial in, but right now they've got production and growth slowed down so much that businesses aren't hiring, aren't even looking. And some of that's because the labor market sucks because, frankly, a lot of us Americans got really messed up from COVID, and it just put this weird bug in so many people's heads that, the company owes you all sorts of stuff, and that's just not how it works. You can't work like that. Like, are they offering you a good salary and all that? I mean, are you expecting them to give you a place to nap and all this stuff? Okay, then that's something you can ask them when they try to hire, and they'll be like, no, we don't have that. And you'll be like, well, I don't want to work here. And they'll be like, all right, thanks. Have a good day. And that'll be fantastic, and it's your choice, and they don't have to do stupid stuff like that. Like, people can just be like, no, I'll work there if they pay me more than this other guy over here they got cots. I heard they got cots where you can sleep. Oh, my God, it's crazy. But yeah, they pay better than there. So, again, it's funny how it's all coming out. Oh, yeah. And apparently, Powell said we'll be talking or taking that information into consideration and all the other information we get as we make our decision at the September meeting. So everybody's taking that line to say Powell's talking about raising rates. I don't get that from the info they're given. I think he's open to it. Mind you, I think he's publicly stating that. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this whole idea that he's somehow, changed. We'll see. They might go one more month to see what's going on with labor, to see what's going on with inflation, because inflation went up a little bit with the PPI there, or the PPI. And so they might be wondering what the consumer price index happens, CPI. So we'll see. There's a lot going on. Stock market, again, up a bunch today. Let's see if we can guarantee quick refresh. Up a bunch. So Dow Jones is up almost 2%. NASDAQ up almost 2%. S&P up almost 1.5% or 1.5%. Pretty solid on the money right now, actually. They've been going down for like 4 days. So they all feel like they got good news, whether or not it was the deal Trump made. And I think Trump is being smart to do the release of information on the day that the Fed says something sort of positive, iffy, right? The market's just looking for anything to be happy about. So Trump, I think, jumped on that wave, and I think that was smart of him. I think it was brilliant of him, in fact. So, again, that's going to bring a bunch of money into this country. That's good from a large standpoint. By the way, the price of gold's up a bunch. Don't know if you've noticed that. Suspending de minimis exception next week will cause ripple effect across the global postal lines. I just love when I see my term. It's not my term. I mean, I didn't invent it. I saw someone talking about glitching the Matrix the other day on one of their shows. I was like, that's funny. So again, there's just ripples. Anyway, I'm doing my part, folks. It's all I can say. I'm doing my part to shove these words into the zeitgeist. Suspending de minimis exemption. This is the thing where they could ship small amounts and we wouldn't tax them. We wouldn't bother looking at it. And we've kind of gotten done with that because a lot of crap from China was coming in that direction because a lot of the crap that China sells is super cheap. It's way under $100. So they're like, no, we're not doing that anymore. This is going to affect shipping in a huge way. This is going to affect the little bullshit things that have been happening. And this is going to affect a lot of the countries that were doing this service for China. So this is going to be a big deal. And this is supposedly next week. So again, enjoy the weekend. things might get a little hairy next week, and everybody's taking their wins right now, you know? All right, a couple health things. This is really good, a bit from Kennedy, and this needs to be shared. And he's talking about 36,000 doctors had their Medicare payments manipulated to push childhood vaccines. This is him talking about it.
Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS secretary. Let me ask you something. Should doctors make decisions based upon what's best for their patients or based upon what makes them the most money? It's not a tough question. We've inherited a healthcare system that constantly pushes doctors toward the latter. It rewards certain treatments not because they're better for the patient, but because someone profits. Take what happened during COVID. Hospitals were paid to report staff vaccination rates. Those numbers were fed into the National Healthcare Safety Network, then published on the CDC website to shame any hospital that refused to become an enforcer of federal vaccine mandates. Today, I'm proud to announce we've eliminated that policy by repealing a dangerous Biden-era provision in the CMS inpatient payment rule. And we're not stopping there. We're scanning every corner of the healthcare system for hidden incentives that corrupt medical judgment. What we're finding is alarming. Doctors are being paid to vaccinate, not to evaluate. They're pressured to follow the money, not the science. We've recently uncovered that more than 36,000 doctors had their Medicare reimbursements altered based upon childhood vaccination rates. That's not medicine. That's coercion. It's immoral. It has no place in a constitutional democracy or in a system that claims to protect children. Medical decisions should be made based upon one thing and one thing only: the well-being of the patient, never on a financial bonus or a government mandate. Patients deserve honest, uncorrupted advice from their doctors. Doctors deserve the freedom to use their training and to follow the science and speak the truth without fear of punishment. Doctors should be guided by medical judgment and their Hippocratic oath, not by financial incentives or government mandates. That's what this policy change is about, and it's just the beginning. Thank you very much.
Love what he's doing. Freaking love what he's doing. 100% by accident, too, by the way. Scientists were trying to figure out how to do, I think they were doing something with, was it pulling fat out? What was it? Heating material. Breakthrough happened. They're heading back surgery. They were frustrated with their attempts to reshape cartilage. So they're trying to mess with cartilage. And what they found is when they turned the wattage down on this thing, or the energy or whatever, volts, it behaved differently. Cartilage behaved differently. It actually became very pliable, very bendable. And then when you removed that stimulation, it went back, it stayed, like it held. And so what they found is this would actually maybe work to help reshape the eyes rather than doing LASIK. LASIK is actually causes a cut in the eye, and they try to do a thing to nip and tuck the eye, which ultimately is, I don't know, it's got some mostly good effects, but there are some interesting stories. This is a different way to go without cutting the eye, and would actually cause the eye to reshape itself, which is really what happens as our eyesight starts to suck. Is, you know, it can't focus the same way, or the lens itself is starting to kind of have some issue. So, you know, again, a lot of things go into it. I thought that was kind of some new potential technology. Taxpayers on the hook for the $3.5 billion to replenish munitions used defending Israel. We got to build our own stuff right now, too. And I think that's a big part of what Trump's like saying in this whole, we got to stop all these wars, because, frankly, we don't want to give any more weapons away right now. We need them. We need them for ourselves first. We don't want to tell you that, but that's probably what's going on. Maduro's militia threat. You know, when we talked about the 4.5 million people, many are saying that was a bluff. That was a bunch of nonsense. No way in hell he's got the ability to mobilize that many people. He probably did it to try to make himself sound strong within his own country, when in reality he's certainly not. Of course, good old Alice Tang here. We're not going to listen to her, but it's fun to look at. Israel disputes report about famine in Gaza. Thank God. They're like, no, seriously, there's no famine. I mean, yeah, there's one picture of that starving kid. And we also know that the leaders of Gaza are actually blocking the food aid and not letting it in. So any of the UN stuff is being blocked. UN only. The stuff coming from the U.S. or via the U.S. or with our help is making it fine. Now, Israel's distribution of these said goods is weird. There's been gunfire. That's how they know when it's time to start. People have accidentally gotten shot. A lot of things are not going quite right. Israel's, I don't know, I feel like they could build like a gate thing or something that people have to walk, like a Disneyland line, but like, made of something that's hard to knock over. Something better than what they're doing, but whatever. Netanyahu authorizes new talks to free all hostages on acceptable terms. Israeli Prime Minister Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu Thursday confirmed that he had instructed negotiations to begin for the release of all remaining hostages. He also declared that he wants to end the war in Gaza on terms acceptable to Israel. Still, his expanded ground operation will proceed, and while addressing Israeli troops, he made clear that his cabinet approved plans for a large-scale assault on Gaza City. So it's like, look, we totally want peace. But right now, we're about to mow down this entire place where you're located, unpeacefully. But we want peace. We do. Yeah, totally do. Totally do. Anyways, we'll probably see you tomorrow when we come bulldozing through you. Have a good day. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That's probably going to become a meme. That should be on a t-shirt somewhere. Trump angry about Ukrainian attacks on key Russian pipeline to EU. So a lot of crazy attacks have been going on. So this was an attack in Druzhba, conduit supply. This is oil that goes to Hungary and Slovakia. Blowing that up actually puts these people at risk, especially going into wintertime, which we're not there yet, obviously. We also have attack happened by Russia that blew up a U.S.-owned factory in Ukraine. What's interesting about this one is, this is a U.S.-owned factory. They made stuff for, supposedly for Nike and a few other products. I see if I can easily find any of this stuff. Again, I actually read most of this article. They did attack, though, and this is apparently an American-owned. It had like roughly 600 people in it, they said. And so this happened prior to his truth post, which we read yesterday too, by the way, where he said it's impossible if you can't attack within Russia. So many are wondering if he's implying because of this attack that we should be able to attack deeper into Russia because now Russia's technically attacking one of our, quote, companies. Now, I think this company is probably a CIA front, was probably doing something that probably was not what it claims to be. And Trump, of course, has to make a public statement that's vague, but it happened after, for sure, chronologically, and not terribly long after, but hours after. This 5:35 p.m., I want to say this event happened, at least from the Post, and I don't know whose timelines we're looking at. It was like 1 in the morning, so they seem like they're reasonably far apart, but again, hard to do timestamps. Ukraine obliterated a critical part of Russia's Druzhba oil pipeline. We already talked about that, so yeah, that's not making people happy. Something you may not know. The Boeing 737, made in America, but actually no, it's made all freaking over the place. Engines, the nacelle is made by, looks like Canada and Britain, right? And then you've got the engines made by a number of countries. I don't know flags well enough. I see Britain's flag in there, and I don't know the other countries well enough. France is probably in there. But all the ones that have, like, which colors are we? I don't know what your colors are. Holy shit, man. Is that how you do yourself? Like, I like the other people that do, like, very specific, like Switzerland. I know that one. China. I know some of these, right? I don't know some of these, though. I'm just an idiot, man. Right now I'm worried about the United States, frankly. But, yeah, all you guys count. All you guys matter. But my point is every time there's an engine fire, there's like friggin' 12 countries involved. Who knows if any of these, are actually intentionally sending shit parts to try to hurt the competition. China gets involved, and they're like, look, you go on Boeing planes only. You're going to make Boeing look bad. And China's like, we want to buy 500 Boeing planes. This is the kind of stuff that I think is concerning. Also, the wing flaps, I was looking into that. That's many different companies. We just saw that video I shared yesterday where the whole flap at the end was coming off. That's a part that's not made by us. The connector. If the connector broke on the flap itself, but Boeing's part or whoever makes the part that is supposed to hold that connector, it's still there. It's intact. It didn't break. The connector, the thing that was connected to, just sheared. Whose fault is it? Now, again, I think people are looking into this, but if countries are messing stuff up, I don't know how we fix that per se, but it's a problem, and it's something worth pointing out. Again, I'm always trying to. My grandpa retired from Boeing. It's the only reason it bothers the crap out of me. And I loved McDonnell Douglas too. I don't know what they did to themselves. They used to, man, the F-15 and so many cool things, man. So many cool things. McDonnell Douglas. MD80. There was some cool stuff back in the day. I don't know what you guys did to yourself either. Dude, what is going freaking on with the freaky freaking animals? Okay, they're like 3 different states right now. These are probably related to something nuclear, something disgusting. Someone sent me an email to that suggestion. It's pretty close to such and such a place. It's like, that's pretty crazy. Who knows? The rabbits with the things coming out of them. Well, now we got deer that have, I don't know, skin warts. Got warts. Unprotected sex with someone they shouldn't have. All over the place. All over the... man, dude. This is so like any of the zombie video games. Any of you guys ever play video games? Like, you'll see something like this. It'll have just like one thing on it, and you're like, man, that's a zombie. It's a zombie. So, yeah, we've got this Colorado, Minnesota, and Nebraska. What the shit is going on? They said it's actually dangerous as a result of a cottontail papilloma virus. It's a virus. It's probably been genetically released from the labs. It was probably meant to affect people. Maybe they're hoping it crosses species, right? And somebody's going to get one of these things, and this is going to... Okay. That's the only way out. Yeah, sorry, guys. Sorry I did that to you. I'm sorry I did it to me. We got a lot going on. I got a musical show coming up. The band, which I put the song in there. I hope people like it, but I don't know, for whatever reason, the song caught my attention. It's sung by the band is called The Head and the Heart, and the song's called Arrow. You're curious if you don't want to actually watch the music show that I'm going to do in about 2 hours. It's a pretty cool song. I don't know, and it had a neat groove to it. It reminded me of another song, which I was actually hoping to find and never did. And the experience of creating this playlist was a bit of a... like literally at one point I looked over at my girlfriend because she was sitting up here. She got here from work, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm actually nervous. Like, I might have to start over. Like, I was so into it too. I was already like 2-3 hours into it. Like, hour and a half, 2 hours probably. And I had 4 songs total. I'm like, this is not going well. This is what's going on. I'm breaking the flow. And I figured out how to get around it. I came up with a song that reminded me sort of the feel of the song, and then that led me into, about 10 more songs. Thank God. But it's going to be it's a great vibe, great songs. I've got some different live ones that are pretty groovy. It's a different show. It's like probably like late 80s, early 90s, like right in that genre. Like, it's really good music. Anyway, hope you guys check it out. It's on BitChute for sure, Rumble. Where else do I put it? It's live on all sorts of places. Live everywhere I'm at, including X, which is a fun place to do it. And I usually try to send a punch out to everybody that, hey, we're doing this. Rock and roll. So hopefully you guys join us. That's Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern is when we do that live. And hopefully you can join us. It's always fun. We've got a great chat group, and you'd be surprised how tight-knit these people are. It's like a little weird, cool world into itself. And I think I might at some point in the future have a way to make things a little easier too. So we'll see about getting there. We're going to take it step by step. That said, got a lot to do. Great show. We got the In the Mix happening tomorrow for all my friends in the $25 group. If you want to become part of that, go to onthefringe.locals.com and donate a active donation, meaning a resubscribing of $25, and you will get invited to that meeting, and it's pretty awesome. It's fun, and then we go on the air and we talk about current events, and man, a lot has happened since last month, so hopefully you guys want to check that out. Again, that's onthefringe.locals.com. Active membership of $25, and you will be invited. You also get invited to last Saturday. We had a Zoom meeting where we all just kind of hung out and talked about all sorts of crazy stuff. That's usually a lot of fun too. So again, the inner group that's on the chat, essentially, and then there's the chat, which is kind of the larger group, and it's a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys can join on some of the live stuff. We do enjoy ourselves, that is for sure. World's changing, and we're shaping that. Thank you guys. Your ripples are making a difference. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.